Hey folks, Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. Welcome back to Chairman Chats. And I'm here with, without a doubt, an incredible American woman, an incredible Texas woman, a true hero. And it's someone that I must admit, I'm a pretty tough guy. But when I went to see the movie based upon her life and her experiences, broke me down like a cheap shotgun. And I'm talking about Abby Johnson. Abby Johnson has always been fiercely determined to help women in need. This desire is what led Abby to a career with Planned Parenthood, our nation's largest abortion provider, and caused her to flee the organization, becoming an outspoken advocate for the pro-life movement. During her 8 years with Planned Parenthood, Abby quickly rose through the organization's ranks and became a clinic director. However, Abby became increasingly disturbed by what she witnessed. Abortion was a product Planned Parenthood was selling, not an unfortunate necessity they were fighting to decrease. Still, Abby loved the women that entered her clinic and her coworkers. Despite a growing unrest within her, she stayed on and strove to serve women in crisis. All of that changed on September the 26th of 2009 when Abby was asked to assist with an ultrasound-guided abortion. She watched in horror as a 13-week-old baby fought for and ultimately lost its life at the hand of an abortionist. At that moment, she fully realized what abortion actually was and what she had dedicated her life to. As it watched over Abby, a dramatic transformation had occurred. Desperate and confused, Abby sought help from a local pro-life group. She swore that she would begin to advocate for the life in the womb and expose abortion for what it is. Now, maybe some of you had the opportunity to read her book Unplanned or see the movie Unplanned, but I will tell you, you cannot walk out of that theater or put down that book without being touched. And I'm just so humbled and honored to have Abby Johnson with me here tonight. So thank you, Abby, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm truly honored to be on with you.
Well, it's a great thing. And I also want to thank you for your endorsement in this chairman's race as well, because I think one of the critical issues we have to stand up for is the issue of life, which is the first inalienable right. And so when we talk about this issue of life, something that's happening here in the state of Texas that just took an interesting turn today. You know, there's this question about what is essential medical practices and things of this nature as we deal with this COVID-19 virus. And the governor of the state of Texas decided that abortions were not an essential medical practice. And guess who ended up suing the governor of the great state of Texas? Yes, the organization founded by Margaret Sanger, a white supremacist and a racist, Planned Parenthood. And just today, a federal judge came out and decided unilaterally, judicial activism, that again, this thing called abortion, murdering unborn babies, was essential even at a time when we're supposed to be preserving life. So Abby, when you think about this and the stand that you're making, how absurd is it that we have an organization like Planned Parenthood trying to say that what they do is essential?
You know, it's interesting to me because having been really in the abortion debate now for, 19 years on one side or the other, I hear them saying two different things. So I hear them on one side saying, I hear Planned Parenthood on one side saying that abortion is no big deal. It's no different than going and having your teeth cleaned at the dentist. It's a nothing. You're aborting a nothing. It's no big deal at all. It's not even surgery. It's just nothing. Then on the other hand, now they say it's essential medical care. It's essential surgery that is life-saving. Okay, well, it can't be both, right? It can't be a nothing, a no big deal, and also essential and life-saving, which is completely, if there was ever a definition of irony, that's it, that somebody would call abortion life-saving. Every single abortion results in a life being ended.
Yes.
But, the abortion industry, we knew this was going to happen. I mean, Governor Abbott, makes this, and it wasn't just abortion. It wasn't that he was just targeting abortion. He's targeting all non-essential surgical procedures.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you have dental hygienists who are, they are kind of furloughed right now because that has been deemed non-essential. You
Exactly.
have, optometry clinics and places, ophthalmology clinics have been deemed non-essential. But
That's
now
right.
all of a sudden, what is it? And prior to you coming on, we had a couple of pastors because we're being told that church services are non-essential. But yet Planned Parenthood in some way, shape, form, is that supposed to be an essential surgical procedure?
Yeah, I called today. I called because one of my dogs, I had gotten a notice that they needed to get their vaccinations updated. So I called the office, my veterinarian office. And I said, hey, I need to, bring my dog in. And they said, well, we can't do that until after the governor's mandate. Okay, this is a veterinary office, right? Yeah. So, getting my dog's vaccines is not considered essential, right? Yet abortion providers, they want to be able to kill babies. So, what we saw happen was, of course, the governor puts out this mandate. Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers, they swoop in. They, were trying to get a restraining order to stop this executive order. It goes to Judge Yackel. Now, Judge Yackel is a federal judge. He is incredibly pro-abortion. He rules with every single abortion case goes to him, okay? And every single time he rules with the abortion industry. We know it. We know how he's going to rule every single time. And so does the AG. So does the governor. So they were already prepared. So they knew how Judge Yackel was going to rule. So they were prepared, right? So Judge Yackel, of course, makes his ruling and says, no, executive orders overruled. Abortion clinics can go ahead. So then the abortion industry, they put out this big celebration, right? Like, yeah, we won. Well, here comes the AG, right? So the AG says, hold on a minute. So they send an expedited petition to the Fifth Circuit Court. And so the Fifth Circuit, their 3-panel court, comes back today and says, now this is like less than 24 hours.
Yes, I know.
Okay? They come back and they say, nope, we're going to overturn the lower court's rulings. We're going to overturn Yackel's bad ruling, and we're going to now uphold the executive order that was put out by Governor Abbott. So their party by the abortion industry was very short-lived. Yeah. And as of right now, abortions cannot be committed in the state of Texas.
Well, that's a great thing, because you're right. You know about this activist Judge Yackel, and what he is going to rule. And so thank God we do have that circuit court that immediately they got that petition. But, in the final minutes that we have with you, Abby, does it seem sometimes that Planned Parenthood is this grand behemoth that for whatever reason is kind of like the Hotel California song, we stabbed it with our steely knives, but you just can't kill the beast? Will we ever be able to undermine the control, the political power, the influence that Planned Parenthood has in the United States of America?
I think that's a great question. I think that we can. But the only way that we can, if I'm really honest, and I know that we are not just fighting politics here. Okay. I know that we're fighting for a culture change. I know that we're not just fighting to make abortion illegal, but we are also fighting to make abortion unthinkable. Okay. And that's my goal. I know that's your ultimate goal. I know that. Okay. We're fighting to change our culture from a culture of death to one to life. Yes. But if you really want to eliminate the power that Planned Parenthood has, it will only come through legislative power. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's not really going to come by changing culture. It's going to come through the heavy-handedness of legislation. And it's going to come by getting pro-life conservatives into office, into Congress, getting solid pro-life Republicans in place so that we can eliminate their funding, If we eliminate their funding, we eliminate their clinics. And if we eliminate their clinics, we begin to change the culture. And I think people, they underestimate, because it's been such an uphill battle. Legislation has been such an uphill battle. So we feel like we can't win. So we sort of give up in the legislative process, but we can't do that. We have to keep fighting. We have to keep voting. We have to keep voting for pro-life first, because without the right to life, every other issue is secondary. So when we go to the poll, it's sad to me how few people vote. And it's sad to me how few Christians vote.
Only 24 to 25%.
This is our duty as Christians, and it's our responsibility. And the fact that we aren't taking that responsibility seriously because we don't have the perfect candidate, it's disgusting to me.
Well, it's interesting, and that's why your voice is so important. I think another thing we have to do is message this thing of life into the minority communities, because you know the damage that Planned Parenthood has done in the Black community, especially since Roe v. Wade, some 20 million Black babies murdered in the womb. That's what I would think some people will call a genocide. And again, how interesting that, you know, we have so many people that by executive orders, they're saying that Christians, it's not essential for you to be in church, but yet someone would make a ruling that it's essential for us to continue to murder unborn babies. You know, Abby, where can people follow you? How can people stay in touch with you and find out where you're speaking at next, or any of the great work that you're doing?
Sure. So my website is abbyjohnson.org. I'm on Facebook at Abby Johnson. I'm on Twitter at Abby Johnson. I'm on Instagram on at ProLife Abby Johnson. I'm all over everywhere. You can find me.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to be with us here on Little Chairman Chats, and we look forward to having you back again, because this is a fight that we have to win, and this is a fight that right now is not going away, and you're on the front lines of it, warrior. So God bless you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. Take care.
Thank you.